to show you how to trace an image in Animate. Okay, so first of all, for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Animate, and here in Animate I already have set my stage size to 640 to 960. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, and what I have here is also in Windows, in the layer panel, if you open the the library panel, you will see that I have UI image here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop it on the stage. Okay, so I've got my image here. What I intend to do is that I want to have this center screen. I need to do a tracing of the center screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all resize it to ensure that this comes in the center of this stage. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a free transformation tool, press shift from the keyboard and reduce the size like this. Okay, keep it here. Now little I need to increase the size to adjust the margins. Okay, so I'll just increase a bit, and then with the keyboard arrows up and down, I'll just readjust it a little. Okay, now I have to make sure that this is in the center of the stage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Windows and I need to open here Align panel. Okay, once the Align panel appears, you need to click here Align to Stage and click here and click in the center here. Okay, so we need top align horizontal and align vertical. So now it is placed within the center of the stage. Once you are done with this, the next thing that you need to do is you need to lock the layer, so you will not move it accidentally anywhere. So I will just lock the layer and rename the layer as background. Okay, and you need to now do one more thing, which is to make the background as transparent. So you need to add opacity so you can see the background, but it will be little dim. Okay, so you will not be able to see, you will be able to trace the elements in a comfortable way, and you will not see the original colors. So for that, I'm going to go here, right click on the keyboard and then just say properties. Okay, and here you select your opacity and reduce the percentage so it becomes less. You can also, like for example, make it directly from the keyboard and then just say okay. Okay, so once it becomes light, you can still see the design, but now you can easily trace the elements that you want to trace. Zoom in, command plus or command minus you can use for zooming. Zoom out a little. Okay, now take the primitive rectangular primitive tool to trace this particular section of the UI, this component of the UI. So for that, what you need to do is you need to click here on the new layer. Okay, and here rename the layer as for example search. So once you have another layer, now you can easily draw on this layer because this layer is not locked. So I'm going to take the rectangular primitive tool and now I'm going to zoom in a little so I can see the rectangle easily. Okay, and I'm going to draw a shape. Now this shape is an opaque color, I cannot see what is happening. So what I will do here is that I'll go back to the properties. I'll open the go to Windows and open the properties panel, and here I'm going to make the fill opacity less. Okay, so I can see clearly what is there in the background. The background elements I should be able to see clearly. Okay, now once you're done with this, you have to see here that the edges of this rectangle are rounded, so you need to round them here. So I'll just make it 20 here. Okay, but this makes it look very rounded, so I'm going to decrease it to 10, for example. This seems fine to me. Okay, once you are done with this, now the next thing what you need to do is you need to first let's complete this search. So I'll just rename it as, for example, I'll make it search 1. Okay, so from this element what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this apart. Okay, break this apart, so from object it becomes uh, a merged object. So select the fill and delete it. Okay, or if you want to let the fill be there, you can keep the fill and delete the outline. Select the outline, double click, select all overall outline, delete it. Okay, now once you have the merge object, now you can easily create the line over on the top of this. So you can select the color that you want to take and just drag your tool on this. Okay, now once you have this line, what you need to do is you need to select the line and increase the stroke size. So I'll just make it 3, for example. Okay, now here again I'm going to take the line tool from the tool panel and I'll just drag it like this and then again drag it. Okay, make sure to press shift so your line will come in proportion and you can see it that it is aligned. Here again take the oval tool and create the outline of the lens like this. Take the line tool and move it like this on top of it. Okay, once you are done with this, the next thing what you need to do is you need to use the text tool to write from. So just write from. Okay, now I need to select this, drag it and select first the fill. Okay, you need to have the opacity 100 here. Okay, so drag to make the opacity 100. If you cannot make it like that, just select it and just type it on the keyboard 100. Okay, now change the color to black, for example, and now you can see you have the font. You can decrease the font size if you like from the property panel, so you can decrease the font size from here directly, or you can use the free transformation tool. So I'll just keep it here and then I'll use free transformation. So I will zoom in to see where I am and I will just drag and make it little small and readjust the font to place here. Use the arrow key to from the keyboard, up and down arrow key to move the element. Okay, once you are done with this, the next thing what you can do is you already have one element with you, one component is ready with you, so you can just either duplicate the layer from here. Okay, you can duplicate the layer, select the layer and duplicate the element. Okay, so now you have 2 layers of the same element. You can move it here like this. Okay, this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is not with duplicating the layer. If you want the element in the same layer, all the elements in the same layer, you can still have press option on the keyboard if you're using Mac, or alt on the keyboard if you're using Windows, and duplicate it. Okay, like this. But I think I would suggest for you, if you can have a right click and duplicate the layer. Okay, so for animation you can have a separate layer for another component. So just drag it and place it where you wish to place. It is a good idea to have in your view snapping active. So snap align, snap guide, snap objects, they help you to organize your elements and align them properly within the document. Okay. One thing you have to keep in mind, that when you are drawing elements, you always take a new shape and then create the element. Okay, because if you don't do that and you start dragging the elements like this, it will de-shape the corner. Okay, so it will de-shape the corner. Like for example, okay, let me just give you an example of this one. Okay, I will just make press option and make a copy of this. Okay, so what happens if I drag it, it will de-shape the corner, and you can see on this also that it de-shaped it. So for to not have this kind of issue, okay, not to have this kind of issue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take again a rectangular primitive tool, and I'm going to make the overall shape again. Okay, and then you can adjust the close this panel if you don't want it, and then you can adjust the size manually, like this for example. Okay, and create the element the way you like.